Hello loves. Okay, let's talk about how I made this venom cake from start to finish. So first we're going to start with the head. That was styrofoam. I needed it to be more stable and she didn't want a lot of cake to begin with. So I figured I can make the body portion cake but the head styrofoam. You see me cutting up a styrofoam head already in the shape. That's so convenient. You can get it at any of your hobby stores. And I'm gluing bits and pieces here and there to get the shape together. Now onto the hard part, covering it in fondant, and believe it or not, this took me forever. I would say it probably took a good hour just to make sure it was all covered evenly. When I finally was happy with that, onto the tedious part of gluing on each and every single tooth, which I did hand make, by the way. I had to make the teeth prior in advance and wait for them to harden in order to do this. After waiting a few days for the fondant to harden, I added the tongue, as you can see there. It's just a big red piece of fondant. I put a cup to hold up the tip of the tongue while it hardened. Once that was all done for the spit, I just used a hot glue gun. It did melt a little of the fondant, but it wasn't too bad. I think this was the funnest part of the cake. I don't know why, but I literally just let it drip all over because he has a lot of spit. Okay, onto the cake portion. So I put the head on another round piece of styrofoam. I stuck a skewer through the whole thing to make it more stable. So here I am adding the cake that I can just put filling in. For the remainder, I can't because then it wouldn't be sturdy. So this had custard and it was funfetti cake. That's the two portions that you're going to enjoy some filling. As for the rest of the cake, I can only get the shape by using scrap cakes here and there. So I would put some cream and then add additional scrap cake. I also had to kind of carve it into the shape. I did look at a picture of Venom while I was doing this. You can even see me over here looking at his pecs and I'm like, they seem a little big. I need to carve them down in shape. I also added a little bit more cream, buttercream on the top because like near his neck area, it was kind of bulging. I put that back in the fridge so that it hardens nicely. And then I go ahead and I cover the entire thing with cream. Now you want to make sure that you do this part as close as the picture as you possibly can so that once you put the fondant on, it has that correct shape. I use this kind of curved ruler that I have that it's only devoted to cake, guys. Don't worry, it's been washed numerous amount of times and it is in my cake drawer. Helps me to smooth curved, buttercream. And now back to the black fondant. So I figured it would be easier to do it in two parts, his left and his right side. You see me kind of just smoothing it out over the buttercream. The cake has been chilled, by the way. Otherwise, this wouldn't necessarily work. Once I was happy with that, I went ahead and I covered the other half, connecting the two. And I connected it to the neck by smoothing out the fondant and rubbing it with a damp paper towel. That helps to kind of give them a seamless look. And the trick is dipping a piece of fondant in cornstarch and rubbing it over the cake as well. And that helps it to give it a smoother finish. Luckily, Venom has like bumpy skin, so it works out. So I blotted it a little bit with a damp paper towel and some color to make it look like his skin texture. And here I am adding the veins, but I didn't want them to be that color exactly. So I airbrushed it a little bit to darken it up. And this is the final product. Super happy with this cake. Thanks for watching, loves.